the Senate seat that was opened by the sudden and tragic passing of Lindsey Graham over the weekend. Right now, the Senate is back in session with Graham's colleagues currently speaking, remembering his more than 30 years in Congress. You can also see Graham's desk draped in black, covered with flowers. This morning, President Donald Trump urged the South Carolina governor to pick Graham's younger sister, Darlene, as a, quote, fabulous tribute to Lindsey, who loved her dearly, end quote. Darlene Graham Nardone has also has the backing of the Senate Majority Leader, John Thune, and of South Carolina's other senator, Tim Scott. Darlene was close to her brother, having been raised by him after the death of both of their parents when she was a young teen.
I can remember the day my father passed away, standing in the living room of that house, absolutely scared to death. And Lindsey wrapped his arms around me and promised me that he would always be there for me and always take care of me. And I can assure you he's done that. He has never let me down. When I needed Lindsey, he put my interest ahead of his own. In politics, he has done the same thing, putting the country's interest ahead of his own political interest.
Of all the things that have happened in my life, her turning out so well is the highlight of it. If she took a role on, she would be a great representative of our country. I can't think of a better person to represent our country in an event than my sister.
We meet in sadness over the loss of one of South Carolina's greatest sons. Here we also gather together to celebrate what this self-described poor boy from a small town, rural town in South Carolina accomplished through grit, determination, and character for his state, for his country, and for his world. Lindsey Graham recognized the greatness of America and her obligations to a dangerous world. Lindsey Graham recognized the seriousness of his work, but also the value of humor and a light-hearted spirit. Lindsey Graham understood the hopes, dreams, and needs of his state and delivered for his state every time. Presidents, paupers, famous or forgotten, he treated us all the same. We have seen him attack evil and injustice and embrace friendship and the common good with equal fervor and strength. Yes, we are going to miss Lindsey, but we will always remember his quickness, his laugh, and what he has done for us and the world. As he described himself, this poor boy from a little town in South Carolina. Today, under the law, it's my duty and honor to name someone to serve in the place of this irresistible man, this irreplaceable man, this extraordinary man for the remainder of his term. Lindsey took care of his little sister in years long departed. It's my honor to ask his little sister, Darlene Graham, to finish his work for him now. And by the way, Darlene, I don't know if I told you, but after we spoke on the phone in the wee hours of Sunday morning, and you agreed to serve through tears, earlier, I had wondered what you would say, and I was humbled by your quickness to see the duty that you had to serve. And I called the president afterwards, and he thought it was a great idea. And I'm sure that everyone here does as well. Darlene, little sister, come forward, please.
Thank you, Governor, and just bear with me as I try to get through this. But first, I just want to say one thing I've never heard Lindsey described as is irresistible. So, okay, we'll just start with that. But first, I would like to thank everyone who has called and reached out over the past couple of days. I can't tell you how much it's meant to me and our family. I know Lindsay was loved and respected by many, and I greatly appreciate the memories and even the funny stories that have been shared. These shared experiences, along with our faith, have gotten us through these past 2 very difficult days. Next, I want to thank the governor for selecting me to serve the remainder of Lindsay's term. It is such an honor. Lindsay has always been there for me, and now I will be there for him. My brother was the most amazing person, outstanding leader, and just a genuinely good man. He was kind and considerate and loved by his family dearly. As I think everyone would agree, Lindsay worked harder than anyone. He worked nonstop to make our state, country, and world better. He loved his family and loved serving this state and our country. He dedicated his life to our country. It is such a privilege to get to finish some of his important work, and I promise to work hard over the next several months to support the President and carry forward the efforts of my brother on behalf of the citizens of South Carolina and the United States. I know Lindsay thought the world of his staff and colleagues, and with their support, I feel confident. I think this is what Lindsay would have wanted, and I plan to honor him in this way. Now to Lindsay, I miss you more than I can even put into words, but I'm going to do this. I got it. Thank you.
That concludes this ceremony.
Quite a touching
Thank you.
moment there from Lindsey Graham's sister, Darlene, who he, of course, helped to raise after the sudden death of both of their parents when she was a young teenager. Now, she says, of course, she's going to step in to his shoes and finish his term. Let's go back in time to 1998, which is the period David was referencing, and hear from, we found Lindsey Graham talking about what he wanted to be remembered for at the end of his career. Let's watch.
If I followed the polls, I could sit up here and rant and rave and become governor at home. I don't want to be governor that way. I want to be a good congressman who 30 years from now, not just 30 days from now, people thought did the right thing.
So 30 years from now, people thought did the right thing. And, you know, as David Urban alluded to, Lindsey Graham had a number of political lives, if you will. He was, of course, very close with John McCain, who was very much a critic of our current president. And Lindsey Graham has endured or had endured criticism for then cozying up to Donald Trump in the wake of January 6th. But I think as we, remember him and kind of look ahead, see there they were together. That's the three amigos there. If we fast forward from 1998 to 2015, this was a period where Lindsey Graham is now running for president, because you may remember he ran for president in the 2016 campaign, the one, of course, where Donald Trump ultimately won the Republican primary. But this also really encapsulates Lindsey Graham, if you knew the man, because he said that the way he was going to solve all our problems was to put a bar in the White House. Watch.
You know what Reagan and O'Neill did? They sat down and actually got to know each other. They had a drink. If I get to be president, we're going to open up a bar in the White House. We're going to get liquored up and solve problems.